We're with head men's basketball coach Bill Geitner getting ready for his 13th season with the Warriors, the Eastern Connecticut tip-off tournament coming up within the week. Bill, you've been practicing for almost a month now. How have things gone?
I think things have gone pretty well. We have 6 newcomers, so just trying to get them up to speed on our style, our philosophies has been good. Some of the challenges we've had a rash of injuries. I think 2 of our 16 players have been able to participate in every practice. So, that's been frustrating at times. But it's something that we're dealing with, and I'm sure most teams have to. And we're excited to finally get the season started.
Would you say it's a bad year to have the injury bug in preseason based on the makeup of your team?
I think if there was an important year to have everyone there, it was this year. We are very young with only one senior, and so that, like I said, that's been a little bit of a challenge, a little frustration, from the guys not being able to be on the court. We just want to have our full complement of players and be able to compete and get better every day.
Last year, you guys were basically a perimeter team. You had Mike Garrow, who ended up being an All-American, and Brian Salzillo, one of the best three-point shooters. Will that change this year?
I think we'll be a balanced team this year. Obviously with the loss of those 2 guys that you mentioned, Michael and Brian, will be a little different. But I think Trey is back, and he's been a proven scorer ever since he
Preston.
Yeah. Yes, Trey Preston, ever since he stepped on campus, and we continue to hope for great things from him, and so I think we'll have a good mix of inside and outside scoring.
When we talked earlier, you talked about how athletic this team is. Talk about that.
I think we have the ability to put on the court a pretty athletic group. Our point guard, Trey Preston, is athletic. Our wings this year, our 2s and 3s, will be long, athletic players. The inside game, we have the ability to put out there some pretty athletic players in Hugh Lindo, Brandon Yarborough. So we're excited about that part of it, and it should be good.
You guys have won 20 games in a season for 5 straight years. And it seems like every year you lose 1 or 2 major players. You lose Edwin Ortiz, and then the Jamie Cohn group steps up. You lose them, Chris Robitaille steps up. You lose him, Mike Garrow steps up. Who will be the players that are really going to need to step up to replace Salzillo and Garrow?
I think Kevin Lamine, now a junior. Kevin missed his freshman year, most of it, with a broken foot. Last year, he played behind Michael and Brian, and then when Brian was out, he stepped into the starting position and did a great job. So I think, Kevin's best basketball is ahead of him. I think he'll surprise some people, because last year, even with that talented group we had, Kevin was as talented and as athletic as anybody. So I think he's excited to elevate his game. I think Hugh Lindo, who was a freshman last year and showed tremendous signs both offensively and defensively, his game has continued to grow. And even a guy like Brandon Yarborough, who's been in the program now, he's a senior. I think we'll be able to rely on him offensively a little bit more, where in the past he's been a role guy. I think he's worked and improved his offensive skill set to where he can become more of a threat for us. And then there's a bunch of new guys that I think are excited and been working hard and are ready to step in and contribute.
Can you talk about a few of those new players? You had a scrimmage fairly recently, and you had a couple of the new guys really play in virtually the entire game. Talk about at least those 2.
Yeah, due to some injuries, Colin Jordan, played all 40 minutes at the point guard position, and Colin is, a very talented freshman. His basketball IQ is very high. He's able to, run our offenses, get us into offenses, get us into, every possession that we get a good shot. He handles the ball well, and then defensively, he's probably one of our better defenders. Tarchie Brown, who's a wing player, freshman, offensively is as talented as any newcomer I've had here in my 13 seasons. So, we're excited for those two. We have 4 other newcomers. That all of them have been, hit with the injury bug and have missed, considerable parts of the preseason. And we're looking forward to, getting those 4 back healthy, because I think there's, some more contributors there.
You talked about Colin Jordan at the point. How difficult, you were a point guard yourself in college, how difficult is it to ask a freshman to come in and run a team?
I think it's very challenging. It's a position, obviously you have the ball a lot, so just your decision making, understanding offenses, understanding, kind of our philosophy of how we play. And then maybe because I played the position, I hold those guys to a pretty high standard, and expectations are high. But Colin has come in every day and really, bought into, working hard and getting better every day, individually and collectively.
When people think of basketball, and even think of Eastern, everyone thinks of offense. But is it right or wrong that your program over the last 7-8 years has been predicated on defense, correct?
I would agree. I think we've, over the last 7 or 8 years been, one of the best defensive teams in our conference. Statistically that will hold true. And it's something that we clearly value. We want to make it difficult for our opponents to get the option A. Our belief is if we can get our opponent to have to go to option B and C, that more times than not we'll be successful. And then rebounding has been such a big part of our success. We've dominated teams on the glass the last 3 or 4 years. We've had some great individual rebounders, but then collectively we've done a great job of controlling the glass. So I don't think those things are going to change with this year's team. It's something that we've emphasized since day one, that we will be a good defensive team, that we will be a good rebounding team, and I think the guys understand that's what wins championships.
Has that made the preseason, with all the injuries and everything else, never really having this entire starting unit together at once, is that making the defense a very well-oiled machine, very difficult to put in place?
It's been a challenge, just because we've had so many guys out, and our philosophy, our terminology defensively may be different, for the new guys especially. So just having a cohesive unit every day, spending time on the defensive end. We just haven't had that. We haven't had a practice where we've had all 16 guys able to participate. Something we emphasize is that our practices are competitive, they're intense. We're trying to set a standard in practice where practices are more challenging physically and mentally than a game. And that's been the challenge this year, that we haven't really been able to do that on a consistent basis.
You guys went 14-0 in the conference last year, so there's no improvement involved there. How can you do better than that? But
it's a good point.
Yeah. Does that mean everyone will be gunning for you again?
I guess so. I think our conference is going to be very competitive this year. It seems like everyone, has a lot of guys coming back. I think we were the one team that, lost the most. So once again, it's the Little East Conference, men's basketball. Every game is difficult, and what our guys accomplished last year in the conference is remarkable. It had never been done before, and that group was a special group. They were physically and mentally just very, very tough. And this year the guys are excited for the challenge. I think they know. Not that the preseason poll has come out or anything, but we'll be somewhere in that poll. We beat people last year, so I would imagine that they'd be excited to play us this year.
You talked about this a little, Bill. A freshman coming into this program, do they understand how mentally tough you have to be successful at this level?
I think it takes a rare freshman to enter any program and understand what college athletics is all about. It's demanding. Basketball. It's a 19-week season. It's 19 straight weeks. We always describe the basketball season as a marathon. There's going to be ups and downs, and those special teams are the ones that are able to come out of those downs, deal with some adversity, and get through it together. And we've had special groups these last 5 years that have really bought into that and understand that it is a marathon, and we've handled adversity pretty well. And I don't see any reason why this group won't do the same thing. And the injuries this preseason, they're not an excuse. It's a little adversity. We're going to face them, and we're going to find positives, and we're excited for Saturday's game.
Well, developing mental toughness has got to be a process. So do you think that's going to take the first semester to instill that in some players?
I think so. You're right. It is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, and you develop mental toughness through facing the adversity. And, it's something I think our guys for the first 3.5 weeks of the preseason have done a good job with. And this group is excited every day to come to practice and work hard and do whatever is asked of them. So that's been a good thing, especially with 6 new guys.
Last question, Bill. You guys have won 20 games in a season 5 straight years, which is an incredible accomplishment. But I'm sure you don't walk into practice the first day and say, we're going to win 20 games again, or that's our goal. But what would be a general goal from year to year at the start of each year?
We've really, here at Eastern, tried to talk about the process, the process of getting better every day individually and collectively. And we talk about that from day one. We talk about that in our recruiting process is, it's not a number. It's not 20 wins. It's not this or it's not that. It's really a daily basis of every day coming together as a unit and just getting better. And our belief has been if you do that on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, by the end of the year that we're going to be a really good team. And I think this group understands that. They've worked extremely hard individually and collectively to get better. They're buying into, it's a team, it's not individuals. We've had individuals get great recognition over the years. First team All-League, Michael being an All-American. But that all starts with having a successful team and a successful program. And, our guys understand that. So I don't know if there's a set number or anything. I mean, it's to go out every day and compete and get better. And, I think if we do that on a daily basis, this team has an opportunity to be pretty good.
Well, the Warriors will get their first public appearance on November 15th, opening up in the Eastern Tip-Off Tournament. Bill, thank you. Good luck this year.
Thank you.